All right, so to close it out, we're on our last bit of upper body stuff. So what at the end of the trap video, I got into a little bit of a pec release with the baseball. Now, obviously, this is more trigger point, but what I was doing was using the wall to kind of get up and in and expose a lot of the muscle from the pec and the chest up into the shoulder. I said you can go down into the bicep and in the forearm, but I'm going to show you how to with this. So the reason that's so important is all of these muscles are just pulling tight and pulling everything forward. They're causing you to wing, but it doesn't always start here. A lot of times, just like our feet, the problem might originate from here. So if you're constantly in a spot where you're doing this all day, or you're turning all day long, you're causing wear and tear. Now, that may not be a problem if it's just one weekend shift or one summer, but cumulatively, and if you're looking at years on end, when you're getting into your 30s even, and your 40s or 50s, that wear and tear is going to add up. So by breaking down some of these adhesions now in your forearm, your bicep, and your triceps into your shoulders, you're going to help, again, like I used the analogy before, it's like checking your oil, okay? You want to continually check the oil so that way you don't have to constantly get it reserviced. So what we're going to do is start down on the forearm here. And I want you to start all the way out there with your palm facing the ceiling. You're going to start by giving yourself some leverage. If you have a sandbag or something that can be weighted, you're going to, at the very least, take this arm and apply some pressure into that forearm. Now you'll notice I'm kind of just letting it drift, and then I'll tighten everything up. Drift, tighten up. Breathe. I know it's a smaller muscle, still pretty painful on the top, okay? But then I'll get into there, back and forth, roly-poly. All right, now get into your bicep. So it'll just kind of work your way up, brachioradialis right into the bicep. And again here, two heads, so I want to make sure I get both. I want to start on the outside, work my way up to the shoulder, and back down. I go up on the inside, out on the outside, or vice versa. But either way, I'm really trying to get that muscle, and I'm just steamrolling the crap out of it. Right, all the way up to my shoulder. Get the inside, find out what's more painful for you. If you've got to turn your body away like this to expose it, do so, okay? If you've got to turn your shoulder like this, do so. But you might find that one arm will be tighter than the other. That's good to know too, right? You know which arm is your pouring arm for the most part. And these things sound minuscule, but trust me, over time they help. Right, so as I get up into here, I'll get into the front of that shoulder, I'll release, and then to get into your pec, it's kind of awkward. So you want to angle the roller like this, let your arm go straight. Again, turn your head a little bit away. All right, now, women, you might want to cock up a little bit higher, just so you don't hurt anything. But as you go, I already feel enough right there. So I'm going to kind of just prop my body up, go back, forth, and right on the head of that delt, the head of the shoulder, I can feel the tension point for me as I get into the pec. I go back into the bicep, out into the pec, just back and forth in this flossing motion here. And I'm just trying to alleviate some of that tension. Now, I could have rolled into the tricep coming off of the lat, which is totally possible too when you're rolling your lats out. How you just kind of go and extend into that rear delt and then down into the tricep. Put your weight on there. Get the outside, get the inside. Flex back and extend. Right. Back and forth. Okay? But all in all, your foam rolling is going to be whatever the effort that you put into it. So if you're someone who avoids pain, I'd stick with your roller as much as you can. If you're someone that's okay with getting to the nitty-gritty of things to explore a little bit of temporary pain that's a little worse up front but going to help you down in the long run, then your baseball is where you want to go. It's your trigger point release. You can use it in the same way that I just used this on the ground. Just digging directly into there and applying all that same pressure. Doesn't look like it hurts, but it does. And then as I get into that bicep, I'm going to use the same technique that I had over here. And it's just grounding the heck out of it. Breathe, okay? Get into that shoulder, break some of that tension down, and move around. Now, that's about it for the upper body. You can get into the areas of the neck and the back of the neck. I'll show you different techniques for that. But in using balls and rollers and things like that, they're usually a little bit too cumbersome. You want to use something that's kind of gentle, maybe like a golf ball or a golf ball and two socks, or two golf balls and a sock, using that. And I'll show you a release technique that you can use to provide you some relief for maybe headaches, or just to decompress, a little bit of spinal decompression. But for the upper body, that's it.